one that bounces, goes straight up in the air, and you need a little luck to win anything. Both tied the game, and in the end, Indiana won and New York won. Kendrick Perkins with us in studio. And Perk, you've been on both sides of these things, man. When you are on the right side of it with New York in the fourth quarter and in overtime, you heard Karl Anthony Towns allude to the stops they got, and the ball starts going in. They made 13 of their last 14. We're watching it upstairs. Man, how'd that happen?
Well, one, you got to give a lot of credit to Mike Brown, because this new offensive system that he's put in, especially, you know, at the start of the Atlanta series where Karl Anthony Towns is running that point forward, you have so much spacing, right? And that allows Jalen Brunson to go to work and get those isolations. And it's hard to send a double team because now they have so much spacing and they have so much shooting on the floor, especially with Karl Anthony Towns. But then they hung their hats on the defensive side of the basketball, right? We give a lot of credit to the Knicks for being a good offensive team, but they've been great this postseason defensively, and I got to tip my hat to them because they've been getting stops when they need to get stops, and they've been hanging their hats on the defensive side.
I appreciate Karl Anthony Towns saying we thought we could win all night. Of course.
Right.
What else is he going to say? But you're down 22, and they can't make a bucket, man. When did you start to think, man, this could be, because Steve asked, could they get it to 10? It was like 94-84, I want to say is what it was. And then Brunson starts hitting threes, and the Garden starts going crazy. And when you're on the right side of it, it feels great. But Cleveland could just, I can't imagine what that feeling is like. When did you think it could happen?
Well, the biggest thing is when you're on the road, you want to keep the crowd out of the game. And once we saw the crowd get rowdy, and all of a sudden you started to see the energy in the arena and the guys on the floor started to get life, you knew that they had an opportunity to win that basketball game. And all of a sudden, you know, role players, Landry Shamet, they play better at home. And we started to see Mikal Bridges. He got stops. He got timely buckets, hitting big-time threes, along with Big Body Brunson do what he does best, and that's being one of the best closers in the game, Scott.
They went after Harden, didn't they?
Oh, I was waiting on that. Again, when the pressure is on, we watch Harden and the Cleveland Cavaliers fold like clean sheets. And I got to give a lot of blame to Harden and Kenny Atkinson. One, for having Harden on the floor. Like, he was a defensive liability for them all in that fourth quarter. Big Body Brunson, 7 for 8 in the fourth in overtime when James Harden was defending them. When James Harden defended anybody else on the Knicks, they were 9 for 15. And last time I checked, Donovan Mitchell is still the #1 option offensively for the Cavs.
Yep.
How many times did we see him standing in the corner and not touching the damn basketball?
That's something I asked Tim Legler about, that conversation coming in a moment. I'm going to continue this conversation with you in a moment on the cost of this loss for Cleveland. Here now some thoughts from that side from Mitchell and Harden.
It's one game. We could have lost by 40. Still would have been 1-0. So we just watched the film. You know, pretty solid for 3 quarters or so. We'll make adjustments and go from there.
As a leader, what's going to be your message to the guys tomorrow?
I said in the locker room, just that. We lost. We blew it. All right, let's round for game 2. Simple as that.
James, where's the team's mentality after a game like this? Obviously, you're going to lose games in the postseason, but to be up so big, so late, how is it harder to flush a game like this?
No, you know, we're a super confident team. You know, obviously we understand. You know, we literally let one slip away, but you know, we got a lot of positives out of this game. You know what I mean? So we just watch film, figure out what we can correct, and you know, put an entire game together.
We'll get the Knicks side of things in a bit. Coach Brown said we attacked Harden. That's what he said, and you saw it. Brunson hit some high-level shots. I mean, if we're being fair, and we should be, Brunson hit some high leverage shots, difficult shots, but that's what he does in the fourth quarter. Donovan says it's just one loss. He's right, but when you let one of these get away like that on the road, how much more costly is it than just what the math says it is?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's right. It is just one loss, but it's a loss that's going to cost them this series. They're going to look back at this game, and when this series is over, when they lose this series and said, man, we let one slip away. And they're going to regret every single minute, every single second of that fourth quarter. Because despite how awful they was offensively and not getting Donovan Mitchell involved or trying to get Evan Mobley on the mismatch in the low post, they still were up double digits. So at the end of the day, all you had to do was get stops. All you had to do was find some type of pride, have somebody on the floor to show some type of leadership and say, hey, guys, let's buckle down and show some type of grit. Let's show some type of heart, and let's defend at a high level. And the IQ of James Harden. When Mikal Bridges hit that three in the corner, that was James Harden's fault. Helping off the strong side corner, just making up stuff on the fly.
That's rule number one, right?
That's rule number one in every one locker room. Scott, never help off the strong side corner. Easy pass by Jalen Brunson, easy knockdown three by Mikal Bridges. And again, Kenny Atkinson continued to roll with James Harden when he saw that they were searching him out. You have a guy like Dennis Schroeder who's on the bench that could come in and provide and be a defensive pest and somewhat give you that tenacity that you was lacking in the fourth quarter. But instead, you let James Harden sink the ship for your whole entire ball club.
And yet, as poorly as they played, as they melted and couldn't get a stop and couldn't get a bucket, that Merrill three is halfway down. Mike Breen had the bang halfway loaded. He was ready to say it, and it looked like it was going to be another road team getting a victory at the end. They don't. So I'm not trying to sell sunshine here. I'm just saying it's remarkable to me how fractional the difference is for a team that was just couldn't get anything right at the end, and they still nearly won that basketball game. I'm just curious if they can look at that middle section and pull from it value, lean on the things that they're going to see on tape, and like Mobley this, Mobley that. We were ready to talk about him.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was going to be the conversation.
But Scott, think about this for a second. The Knicks played the worst half of basketball that they've played, first half, that they played probably in the last, 4 or 5 games, last 4 or 5 games. You got to capitalize on that. The Knicks had a layoff, right? So they're not going to come into game 2 playing the same way that they played in game 1. And now the confidence level is where it's high. And Madison Square Garden is going to be rocking in game 2.
Of course they are. They're going to carry that momentum in with them, I'd have to believe. I mean, look, the Knicks aren't going to start 4 from 24 from 3 ever again, all right? This was your chance. They made 6 of their last 8 because they just decided they weren't going to miss at the end. You might have caught Jalen Brunson on inside right after the game. More thoughts? As I think he told Lisa Salters, I don't have an answer. After some time, I'll have an idea. He's had some time.
It looked, when you're down 22 and even before that, and there was one time it looked kind of animated in the huddle. Just kind of what are you guys saying to each other, to keep each other going when it's not going right?
Yeah, just keep fighting, keep chipping away. We're not going to get it back in one possession. Most importantly, sticking together. No matter how that game finished, habits translate, and so they translate to the next game. So just finishing the game strong, regardless of whatever's going on, making sure we're having the right habits. So we'll be going to the next game. We're doing what we're doing. We're not just giving up. We don't want to give up ever. And so just having faith in each other.
Perk, you were up on that screen right there, and you and I made a vow when these playoffs started not to overreact to anything, right?
Right.
Okay. I don't think this is an overreaction to anything. You win a game like this in your New York. You've been through this. When you win a game you have no business winning, how do you kind of package it, put it in a bottle, and bring it with you to the next game? Is that something you do?
Absolutely. You build from it. And, Jalen Brunson said something real special right there. He said, we got to continue to stick together, right? And I've been in a situation like this in the 2008 finals, right? When we was on the road, we was down double digits, Scott, and we had to go get that game. And it was a possession-by-possession game. And you could see and feel the energy, the spirit. I'm a huge body language guy. I'm always looking at body language. And at no point throughout the course of that game did I feel like the Knicks felt like they was going to lose or that they were out of it. I didn't see any complaining. I didn't see any, dropping of the head or pointing the finger. No.